What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So Michigan State basketball returns to the court on Wednesday night at Maryland in College Park on Wednesday night at 6:30 on BTN. Now, Maryland is coming in winners of 4 straight and 10 of the last 12. Michigan State obviously coming in winners of 3 straight, 4 of the last 5, beating 2 of the other teams that they are currently in contention with for the Big Ten regular season title, beating Purdue last Tuesday, beating that school down the road, Michigan, on Friday. Then we also play one of the other teams that is in the mix in Wisconsin coming up on Sunday in the Breslin Center. So definitely another big matchup with Maryland ranked pretty high in the current Big Ten standings. So we will definitely jump into the matchup. But first, if you could, just hit that like and subscribe button down there. More Michigan State basketball content on the channel, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. So Maryland is led by their freshman center, Derek Queen, 16 points a game, 9 rebounds, a steal, a block, 6'10", dynamic big for them. Jacoby Gillespie, Belmont transfer, gives them 15 points, leads them in assists with 5 a game, 43% from 3 on the year. Julian Reese still there, giving them 14 points, another 9 boards, a block and a half a game. Rodney Rice, coming over from Virginia Tech, gives them about 14 points per game as well, 37% from 3. And then lastly, Selton Miguel, coming in over from Kansas State and South Florida, gives them about 12 points on 43% shooting from 3. Now, outside of those 5 guys, the starting 5 for them, they do not have a lot of depth in terms of playing guys. It's really their starting 5 that they will rely on heavily, which is the polar opposite of how Michigan State plays this year with their 10-man rotation every night, and even some nights 11 with some Kurtang minutes in here, but mainly just that 10-man rotation. So that's something to look at, is can Michigan State wear them down during the game, given all the amount of different bodies that Michigan State can throw at them. Now, Maryland is second in the Big Ten in scoring at about 84 points per game, 4th in the Big Ten in rebounds behind Illinois, Michigan State, and Michigan at 37 rebounds a game, 3rd in the conference in three-point percentage at about 38%. Now, you just heard all the numbers. Offensively, one of the best teams in the league. Defensively, more of the same. 3rd in opponents' points per game allowed. They are 32nd in fast break points, 56th in adjusted tempo, so they will get up and play pretty fast. Michigan State obviously still tops in that category, tied at 3rd right now, moving back up after, in the previous 2 weeks they had kind of dropped a little bit, but over the last couple games they had been slowly moving back up where they had been all year at 1 or 2 in that category. We talked about the lack of depth for Maryland, 326th in bench points per game, where Michigan State is 5th in the country in bench points per game. 25th in turnover margin in the country for Maryland, so definitely something to watch out for going into the game. And this game is kind of like I mentioned for Michigan State earlier. Can you wear Maryland down with your depth? This is going to be one of the better rebounding teams, so you will have to get out, attack the glass, and then, like I said, try to wear them down. If you can get out, run, defend, rebound, run, try to get out there, wear those guys down so they're tired that last, 4th of the game. And you can try to take advantage of that with your depth. Now, for Michigan State, the Michigan game last Friday, one of their better three-point shooting nights, 41% on the night, 9 made threes. They average a little less than 6 made threes a game. So definitely one of their better nights on the season. And listen, in this game, we're not saying that they have to come out and shoot 40% and make 9+ threes a night, like whatever. We're not asking for that. We kind of talked about it last time. If Michigan State can fall in that 4 to 7 range, 3-pointers made, while taking around 14, I think that's a perfect formula for Michigan State, especially given their struggles from the 3-point line this season. But in this game, they will have to hit a couple threes to win this game in a tough road environment, similar to like we saw on Friday night. But continue to push, not letting Maryland get their defense set. Obviously, we said one of the better defenses in the Big Ten as well, top 3 in blocks in the conference. So pull those bigs out if you have to get into the half-court offense or get out in transition. Don't let them get set in their offense and create mismatches on the fast break. Jace Richardson, coming off a Big Ten Freshman of the Week last week, going to need his consistent scoring, playmaking, doing all the little things that we've seen in these big games. I mean, really that we've seen throughout this whole season, but especially in this big stretch of games over the last handful of weeks, just been absolutely consistent. Obviously had that career high against Oregon, had a big game against Purdue as well, big game against Illinois, big game against Michigan. It's all these big time moments he is continuing to step up, which is incredible as a freshman, and we're going to need more of it coming up of these last, handful of games to close out this season and going into the NCAA tournament. Going to need that coupled with the other guards, Jaden Akins, Trey Holloman, Jeremy Fears. Obviously, Trey Holloman has had some big moments. Obviously, big moments last Friday at Michigan, big moments against Purdue, big moments, in a handful of other games this season as well in the big time moments. Going to need more of that from the four guards as well. I think that is Michigan State's biggest strength is their four guards, and that kind of matches up with their depth strength as well. The depth at that position, the amount of bodies they can, throw at Maryland or any team night in, night out, their defensive intensity they bring. But you're going to need that scoring. Jaden has been his consistent, scoring in double figures pretty much every night. Jace has gotten to that point where he's consistently in double figures this last stretch of the season. To this point, we're going to need more of that. We're going to need Trey Holloman. If at some points it's not going for, certain other parts of the offense, like Jackson Kohler having a good game, then you might not need Trey Holloman to go off for 16, 19 points like he's done at times this year. If Jackson Kohler can go off, like he did against Illinois, 23 and 10, double-double. If Jackson Kohler has it going, that's kind of your paint presence getting it going. But if it needs to be a guard-centric thing, getting it going, kind of like we saw against Michigan, Trey Holloman, Jaden Akins, Jace Richardson, and even Jeremy Fears, I think finished with, 10 in that game, hit 2 threes in that one, and that's what I really love about this Michigan State team and makes them so unique is it's like, hey, if you're trying to establish the post with, Jackson Kohler, that's not working. All right, your four guards can get it done. Your guys off the bench can come in and get it done. We've seen Ferengi Fiddler have moments. Cohen Carr constant times throughout the season. Xavier Booker has even had some minutes and, would love to see him get going even more. Carson Cooper, I know we talk about it every single preview, recap. It's just the depth of this team. You can attack them like Michigan State can attack from so many different ways. If this isn't working, all right, we're flipping to this. We have proven success doing this. That's not working. Option 2. All right, we can go to option 3. Guess what? We have proven options and, a proven resume of this working. Cool. Option 4. All right, it's work. Just go down the list. And Michigan State, I feel like what you throw at them, they've seen this year, and they have a counter. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to continue to, just win. That doesn't mean they're going to win this game. That doesn't even mean they're going to win the Big Ten or have success the rest of the way. It's just, they've seen a lot of different things with the depth that they have played with this year. So I think that's a big advantage for Michigan State coming down the stretch here, that they can hopefully use that depth to wear teams out, and hopefully that's kind of the recipe that they'll have to use in this one. And I am curious how they divide up the big minutes with between Queen and Reese. Probably I'd have to imagine that Jax and Book will take Reese, and Zapala and Coop going on Derek Queen. But I am curious how they divide that up. But like I said, going to need to hit some shots. Going to need to defend and hit those glass and win the rebounding battle like you have a lot of times for Michigan State. And then, of course, keep those turnovers low. Always talk about 8 to 12, staying in that range. Key for Michigan State. Maryland has a lot of good players, but, you got to really choose who you're going to let get theirs, because someone's going to get theirs. Derek Queen is probably the best player on their team. He's going to get their points, but it's like, all right, then you have to kind of shut off Reese. You have to shut off some of the other guards. Like we said, they're not a deep team, so wear them out. One or two of their guys are going to get theirs, but make life difficult for everyone else and, try to go into a tough road environment and get a win. Now, Bart Torvik has Maryland as the number 12 team in the country, 21st adjusted efficiency offense, 17th adjusted efficiency defense. They are 16th in the current polls. Michigan State is 17th on Bart Torvik currently, 30th in adjusted efficiency offense, 14th in adjusted efficiency defense, 8th in the polls this week. They have this as a 77-73 Michigan State loss. As we talked about ad nauseum, a tough finish for the season for Michigan State, facing a lot of ranked teams. It's another ranked team in a row, another top 20 opponent. They're going to close the season with, of their last 6 games, 5 of them are going to be top 20 matchups. So definitely not an easy finish for Michigan State. We've talked about it, and this is just another step towards that. I do like that Michigan State has had, a little bit of a break from last Friday's game, had a couple days rest, recover, after they kind of had a really condensed week. You had Saturday at Illinois, Tuesday at home against Purdue, and then Friday down the road at your rival. So a lot of games in a 6-7 day period. Had a nice little break, rest, reset, and now gear up for these last 4 games of the regular season. So it's going to be a fun one on Wednesday night in a tough environment. So looking forward to see how Michigan State comes out and responds after a handful of big wins to get this kind of end stretch of the season started. So that'll do it for this one. We'll be back with a recap afterwards. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.